All right, babies, we're online. All right, Rich, are you there yet?
Yep.
You there?
Here. Here.
All right.
Good to
So
go.
the other day I was on a bus, and the weird thing was I didn't have my Metro card, right? And you would not believe how easy it is to sneak on a bus. Did you know you could just like walk in and nobody notices? I just said I was
Okay.
somebody's kid.
Okay. This is gonna
I
sound
walked
weird.
behind some.
I haven't been on a bus in like 5 years. It's been a long
Well,
time
if you
since I've been
wanted
on
to
a
go
bus.
on, all you gotta do is go behind a grandma and just say that's my mom, and they just let you in because kids ride free.
I feel like you could do that with almost anything. As long as you have an old lady in front of you, you could get into anything.
That's the way to go. You ready to
I
start?
think that's the way to go. Yeah.
All right.
So much
Let's
stuff.
start there.
So
We
much
got
stuff.
lots of people in the chat. This is going to be exciting, very exciting. Can't wait for this. All right. And 3, 2. Hey, everyone, and welcome to Matt Man, your source for all things professional wrestling. I'm Andrew Zarian, and I'm joined by the yin to my wang, Rich the Larb connoisseur, Stambolian. How are you, Rich?
Doing good. That's my favorite meat now. It's my favorite. It's
Larb.
been I'm sorry to say to my wife, it surpassed the gyro.
Oh, my. That's some harsh
Yeah,
words right
that's a
there.
big thing. It's a big change. This is the news I wanted to break on this podcast because now we break news. We break news on this
Yeah,
podcast.
Larb is the greatest thing. It's a type of meat from Lao. I mean, it's an unofficial dish of Laos, as we
I didn't
all
even
know.
know what it was, and then once I tasted it, I was like, it's bumped up to my number one.
All right, let's actually start talking about professional wrestling. That's what this show is about, after all, not necessarily about Larb Men podcast coming out soon. Don't forget that. So we told you so. We told you so. NXT officially announced to move to Tuesday starting April 13th. New multi-year extension. USA just giving money and money and money to WWE. What do you think, Rich?
Well, first of all, you're breaking all sorts of news. That's the thing. Like when we say we told you, literally were the guy who broke the news, which explains why so many people have been calling you Deep Throat all these years. Finally, it makes sense now that you got the scoop.
That's exactly right. That's right. That's where I keep all of my scoops, right down here. I've got no gag reflex. No gag reflex.
Okay. I meant the Nixon thing, but that's good too. That's good too. But you broke it. You broke that story.
The problem is NXT's moving.
The big problem is now we're supposed to break stories every week, and I don't know. Now we got to really dig deep. That's a big scoop. But you were right.
I'll start reaching. I'll start reaching down my throat to find another one. I'm sure I'll have something ready for the middle of the show. But we were right.
But
I was right.
Finally, people have been like wishing for it for a long time. I'm excited about it. So now, it's going to cause me to lose a Tuesday now, but at least I can watch NXT and AEW and not have to worry about which one to watch. My wife's probably not going to be happy because now it's 4 consistent days. Like technically, Impact was on, but I mean that doesn't really count.
They moved Impact to Thursday. So what I'm going to do, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to record the show on Tuesday, and then I'm going to have it on a second TV when Dynamite starts, because I don't want the war to end. It's going to be a war in my house. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay. You're going to put enough TVs where it's going to look like a Best Buy showroom. The studio is now, it's going to be all about different flat screen TVs. And also you're going to be wearing a blue polo t-shirt and gray khakis or beige khakis.
That's what I wear when we're not on the air. It's exactly what I wear. And it's also that's not the uniform for the right wingers or anything. Let's keep that. We don't talk politics.
I didn't realize that. I was just thinking about innocently Best Buy, but I did not realize you're correct. That is the uniform. So much stuff. There's so much stuff. Can we talk about the New Japan belt? I know, like this has been that's huge. Yeah. That's so huge. Okay. All right. So, what do you think about the New Japan belt before I like get into my thing?
Okay, so I had this spoiled for me. I was looking on stuff online, and then I didn't even see the image yet, and everyone was like, "It looks like Cody's tattoo," and now I can't unsee it.
Okay. See. Now, okay, that makes sense. I didn't realize that was a real belt. I thought that was a Photoshop. I thought someone Photoshopped that. But I've seen a lot of people. Hold on one sec. Sorry. I've seen a lot of people kind of crapping on it, like poo-pooing the belt a little bit. And that's going to happen because it's a new belt. So no matter what, people are always going to be very like angry and disappointed because it's changed and it's different. I kind of like it. And I'll tell you why. because I might hate it if it was just from the one belt to the other, but because they took the IWGP and then the Intercontinental belt and combined them, now they're one belt. I feel like they did a Voltron belt. Like they just took the best of both worlds, combined them, and now this is a super belt. So I like calling it the Voltron belt.
Yeah, so for the audio listeners, I know this, you're trying to figure out what it looks like. It's kind of like somebody took the Divas belt and they made it gold. There's no butterfly, but there are wings. There are wings on this thing. And I mean, it's going to grow on me. I saw Ibushi with it and he didn't look happy. And if Ibushi's not happy with it, I'm not happy with it.
You'd saying that he couldn't put on a front? He couldn't put on a front?
He could crack a smile. He's the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. He had the 2 belts. Now he doesn't have to carry 2 straps. This is great. But there's a weird dead space between the side plates and whatever. I think it had just the shoes for this thing were too big to fill. The IWGP Championship is beautiful, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And this new one, I think, is still a lot better than a lot of the other stuff. Like
it might almost be too much, like they were doing too much. But I'll say this: it can't be as disappointing as when they remember when they debuted that Rock. They went from this Cena spinner belt and they debuted the Rock's belt, and it just was the W on the leather plating. That was like disappointing. There's no way it could be more disappointing than that.
That scratch logo, and then they changed the logo to the network logo because it was so popular. That was ridiculous. And The Rock saying, "This is a championship belt." It looked like a toy. He was making fun of the old one. It didn't really work. Didn't work for me. Right. Let's talk about Andrade. Because Andrade, he's free WWE.
So much news. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's insanely big.
He was talking to Hugo Savinovich of Spanish announce table fame, as we all know. And there's a ton of stuff I'm going to run through. I want almost like word association thing. Whatever you're thinking, Rich, when I say each statement. WWE misdiagnosed Charlotte as pregnant.
Okay.
That's why they pulled her from everything.
First of all, I didn't know you could do how do they do that? Like, I guess test the hormone levels or something. They just determine that she's pregnant.
I mean, maybe they just looked at her and they're like, "You're looking a little paunchy." But according to Andrade, it was HCG level was high.
Okay.
That's how do you screw this up? By the way, so Charlotte takes a test, home test, negative, ultrasound, negative.
Okay, and so then they still took her off. They took her off. So she's not in. They made a mistake. Now she's off WrestleMania at the moment.
That's what it.
And that's weeks ago. They could just add her, right?
Well, maybe they're trying to get the next gen, because it's Rick, Charlotte, and then Baby Flair will be taking on Birdie from Daniel Bryan's kid.
They could have done
WrestleMania Night 3.
Oh, hold on. My camera's got disconnected there 1 second. Can you see me?
Taking on all kinds of technical issues. There you are. You're back.
Oh, no, that's just a still. Hold on. That's just me. And let me try this.
Suncast, make a note for Suncast. Edit this part out. This part. Okay, we're back. We're back.
All right. My bad. Sorry. All right. Well, all right. So here's the thing. Then what they could have done, right? Because she was in the middle of a feud with Lacey Evans. You could have done pregnant lady versus pregnant lady in something. I guess they can't compete. Like something light. I don't know what they could have done. Like a maternity match or something.
A maternity match sounds
somehow. Like
that
the
sounds
opposite of like a death match. It's a life match.
That's perfect. That's gonna be the main event of SummerSlam.
It could have it could be like a death match, but at the end, instead of exploding fireworks, it's like gender reveals. So it's just confetti and stuff.
They could have like Monday Night Football where they have like the helmets hitting each other. They could do that with the baby bumps. Dun 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 dun.
Oh my God, baby bumps in wrestling. They're taking baby bumps. It makes itself. I don't know. I don't understand why they don't just like do it. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's all kidding aside. It sucks that she's off WrestleMania because it's Charlotte Flair, and for her not to be there just because of a screw up is so weird. They have time to fix it, but they haven't done anything. Like she wasn't on part of Raw at all. So it doesn't make sense. I don't know what they're planning to do.
I think they're planning to impregnate her. That's what I think.
Okay,
but anyway,
fair enough.
We got Andrade leaving. He said that he walked away from a $3 million contract. $3 million for Andrade to just sit in catering. Would you turn that kind of money down to eat?
That's got to be rough. I mean, he could be a big star, but is AEW going to give him $3 million? That's like for I don't know. And also, it makes me wonder if Andrade is making $3 million. How much is R-Truth making? Because R-Truth is all over.
Billions.
I know
he's a 50-time champion. He gets paid $1 for every championship he makes or wins. So he's clearly making $50 a minute. That's what the deal is.
That's my thought. So like I know that it doesn't go by like how long you've been there, I guess, but if he's walking away from $3 million, I don't know. It's all over the place. That's a lot of money to spend on somebody you didn't use on the show. Like imagine the thought of people like nobody back in like the early 90s was making $3 million except like Hogan. Right? So $3 million to just sit in catering is insane. There's no way you could keep that. They keep just pumping money. It doesn't make sense to me.
And the last point we're going to talk about is that Andrade talked about Lesnar being fluent in English, even though he doesn't talk much. And Lesnar doesn't have to talk. But they said Andrade had to talk in English. Does that friggin' matter? I mean, he used to have a mouthpiece. Did he need to be a good promo to be that good in the ring for WWE?
I don't think so. I mean, that's what I love about managers, but Vince McMahon, I don't think likes managers for whatever reason. So it's very odd. I don't think so. He was a great in-ring worker. But Vince hates managers. It's just one of those weird rules they make up when they have to find an excuse why they're not using you. There's so much talent just not being used, and it just makes you wonder if he's making $3 million. I can't imagine how much other guys are making. I'm excited to see what he's going to do in either AEW or wherever he ends up, Ring of Honor or even like a New Japan. It's like so cool, but I don't know. Yeah, he's right. Lesnar doesn't speak at all. I would love to see him with Paul Heyman. Yeah.
Oh, that would have been something. It could be like when Heyman was with Cesaro. That worked wonders. Right. Absolute wonders. Like, speaking of wonders, William Shatner. We got to talk about the Shat. It's all about the Shat. He's announced to be in the WWE Hall of Fame, joining luminaries like the former president and Hulk Hogan twice, or I think he got kicked out, so I don't know if he's back in there. So the Shat
he's going in this year.
In the
Hogan's
house.
going the second time is this year with the NWO. So it's going to be him 2 times. Yeah, he's going in. Well, I can't keep track because they keep releasing things and then pulling people. So like, there's a bunch of people who were on it that are not. I know Batista's gone now. So, and then there was a image that they released that was just everybody, and then some of those people aren't involved. So I remember seeing Davey Boy Smith. I don't know what's official and what's just like social media anymore because I can't keep track of it.
Yeah, I think so. Somebody in the chat room find out. MG Geek probably will put it in the comments. We'll find it in the chat. We'll let you know who exactly is joining William Shatner for this. I think it was far too long that Shat was not in the Hall of Fame, because Shatner is obviously the first name you think of when you think about the Rock and Wrestling connection, when you think about Attitude Era, when you think about Ruthless Aggression Era, the Reality Era. There's only one name that comes to mind, and it's Shatner.
Right. I don't mind Shatner because I like anybody who's done multiple stints. Every once in a while, like I think Kid Rock, did he do more than one thing? Kid Rock, like he made it into the Hall of Fame. So who do you think is the least useful celebrity in the Hall of Fame who doesn't deserve to be there?
The least useful. I think it's a 17-way tie. I think it's all of them. No, actually no, except Arnold. Arnold Schwarzenegger belongs there. Everybody else.
He was only there once though, right? Hold on, let me see what celebrities. Look up all the celebrities in the WWE Hall of Fame. Yeah.
All right, Deacon, no, get. I'm doing the show. Get out. No, I don't want a hard-boiled egg. You believe the Deacon's coming? He's offering me a hard-boiled egg. Who needs a hard-boiled egg right now? Is this what you need? You need some protein right now?
Okay. See, he's trying to do like a Grillo, like baked potato thing.
Must
from
be
the Stern Show. Yeah, that's the only way.
It's kind of like a round thing, I guess. But The house stinks. This guy smells of boiled eggs, and it's the sulfurous aroma follows Deacon everywhere. It's disgusting. Just disgusting.
Okay, I'm trying to find a list. It's hard to find a list of all the celebrity. They're just giving me all of them. But all right, we'll go on to the next thing. But I'll pull it up. But I'm not going to.
We'll talk about SmackDown real quick. The rating was 2.031 million, up from 1.9 million. And didn't watch SmackDown. What happened on SmackDown? I think they made it a triple threat.
Right? Yeah. So at the end, it was a pretty good episode of SmackDown. It was a lot of. They've been doing a lot more segments now as they're leading up to WrestleMania because they got to build all this stuff up. So they did Kevin Owens show with him and Sammy fighting each other. They did Scrap Iron Adam Pearce. Do they call him Scrap Iron?
They call him Scrappy.
Scrappy Adam Pearce. So at one point, I don't remember if this was Raw or SmackDown. I forgot. Somebody asked him like, "Hey, do you make the matches around here or what?" Right? I think it was the Hurt Business on Monday, and then I was like, I think that's a legitimate question. Does he make the matches or not? They never specify like what he does there. They don't give him a title really. He's just like executive or office or something. And so I don't know. Does he make the matches or not? But at the end of the night, finally, I guess he announced it as a triple threat match, which I'm excited because I love Daniel Bryan. I want to see Daniel Bryan in the thing.
That's going to be on night 2 of WrestleMania. Do you think Daniel Bryan takes it from Edge and Roman Reigns, the guy who said he would rather die than tap out? Using the word die is like not banned again from WWE. We'll talk about that a little bit about Raw, but should Roman Reigns really be talking about death in matches?
Yeah, it's never a good idea. It always feels awkward. Because then, but the thing is, it used to be that was just like hyperbole that they would say that, like, "Oh, I'm going to kill you in the ring" or whatever. But then they lit a guy on fire, right? So, like, they're not above it. Maybe we're going to see the death. Maybe we're going to see the death and the resurrection. I mean, they have done resurrections too. In all fairness,
they've killed off McMahon for like a day. Obviously, some circumstances there. They've killed off Tori Wilson's dad. Don't forget Tori Wilson and Dawn Marie. He died doing what he loved. Dawn Marie.
And also, don't forget that Triple H had sex with a dead body. So, I mean, it's not like at this point they have killed people and they've gone further with it. So, it's not impossible. It's wrestling. I guess they're willing to go that far. All right, so Hall of Fame list. Here's some of the people in it. And you tell me if you think they're good or not. You got Bob Uecker. I think deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, because he was choked by Andre the Giant.
He was choked by Andre the Giant, and he did 2 WrestleManias. So for me, quantity matters too. Okay, Pete Rose,
and he was on Mr. Belvedere,
and he was awesome.
Rose,
he's just funny
because Kane, I think, piled
right? 2 different times.
Yeah.
All right, William the Refrigerator Perry.
Yes, WrestleMania 2, Battle Royal.
He was in WrestleMania 2, so he technically is a competitor. Okay, Donald Trump, politics aside, deserves to be in there. He had a huge. Remember when he bought Raw and then, quote unquote, he bought Raw and then the stock prices plummeted because people thought he actually bought Raw and they had to go into a panic?
I do remember that. And the fact that Vince McMahon had to put out like a press release to be like, no, he didn't actually buy the show. And not only that, the idea that, just think about this. The idea that Vince McMahon sold the show off to somebody else, just anybody else, seems crazy. But the fact the stock dropped when Trump was mentioned is even crazier.
Yeah,
but he also did host.
He did host it, right? He was the host of The Apprentice too, so people thought I guess he had the money to do it. The only other one that I remember was almost as good was when the limo blew up that you talked about when McMahon was, the limo exploded with McMahon in it, and they said the FBI was looking into it, and then the FBI said we are most definitely not looking into it. Because it's not real, so stop mentioning the name. So they had to change it from FBI to like FCI or something, or FBC, like the Federal Bureau Committee or something. Because the legit FBI was like, stop using our name. We are not involved.
It's a federal agency facility.
Yeah, we are a federal agency. Stop using it.
Okay, let's talk about. I got new WrestleMania matches that were added this week. Every time I read this, it looks like it's like an Onion headline: Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan to host.
Okay, yeah.
That can't. Are
Yeah.
they going to host together, or you think they're going to split the nights? They got to split the nights, right?
Well, that would be no. I think that would be problematic. It's supposed to be an Ebony and Ivory thing, like together. I think this is clearly purposefully done to make up for Hogan, like the Hogan racist tirade. If you split them up, I think that kind of looks like they're segregating WrestleMania, which is like a bad look. So you have to have them both like at the same time. I think that's the whole point. Is that Titus? Ironically, Titus is supposed to be giving like Hogan the rub on this to to rehabilitate Hogan.
That's all I want to see now for Mania. I just want to see Titus like oiling up Hogan, just rubbing him the whole time, rubbing his bald head for luck, and just walking around like that. That's how they're gonna host together. It's just Titus rubbing, and on the mic, and Hulk can't say a word. That's gonna happen. Calling it now.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. Well, there's a crowd there, so I mean, you did break the news. You are the newsmaker. The newsmaker, Andrew Zarian. So, I mean,
that's me, the newsmaker. I got the three faces of Zarian. It's Zarian, Ashante, and now the newsmaker.
And now the newsmaker, aka Deep Throat.
And then
did you break it or did Ashante break it?
When I get a scoop, I just go, "Oh, I'm getting the vapors." I don't know why I'm Southern now, but now Ashante is Southern.
Lowest lane thing to do. It's a very lowest lane.
That's right. All my petticoats are getting into a ruffle here, or a bundle, or whatever. Speaking of whatever, let's talk about Sheamus versus Riddle at Mania.
That's happening at Mania now?
Yeah, so Riddle wasn't even supposed to be getting the championship. It was supposed to go to Keith Lee.
Right.
In the Limitless, Keith Lee. But he's out for health reasons. So Riddle ends up with the championship.
Limits. Vince McMahon set some limits for him.
Well, yeah, first you got to wear a dress, then you got to wear a singlet, then you got to shave your face, then you can't do the move you're doing. So yeah, Limitless Keith Lee might be hitting some limits there. But, oh man, that smell of sulfur is still, that egg smell is still in the room. Oh, okay, anyway, so Riddle versus Sheamus. Riddle's not supposed to be champ. Sheamus should be taking on McIntyre, but we got this.
Yeah, so they are, Riddle was supposed to be like a cool pothead, I guess, which I liked because he was like the king of the bros or whatever. But I think because McMahon doesn't smoke pot, that he thinks that that's what potheads do. And now he's just like stupid. Like, it's very odd. He's just getting beat up by people and people are stealing his scooter. It really doesn't make any sense. They just beat him up. People are,
you know what potheads love? Scooters. Scooters, yes. Exactly. You'll get over it, kid. Yes. That's good shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And people keep like he's a dummy. People keep stealing his scooter. It's a whole thing. The
baby faces don't even want to talk to him. They don't even want to talk to him. Shinsuke walks away. Asuka walks away. Most people walk away. Anyway, we got Apollo Crews versus Big E, the Intercontinental Championship. Apollo Crews with his brand new accent. Which I still don't understand.
Am I the only one who's uncomfortable when he does that? Like, I understand that he is of Nigerian descent, but it's kind of weird that he just decided to start talking with a Nigerian accent, like out of nowhere.
It's not like losing an accent. He gained an accent,
right?
So like they took him off of TV, and he was like, "Okay, I spent the last 3 months in Nigeria getting to know my family more, or something." That would make more sense. But like, he's been in Florida the whole time, so like, he should be talking about like Tampa. Florida things.
Right. Yeah. He picked up the Tampa accent or whatever.
I don't know the population density of Tampa and immigrants from Nigeria, but there must be a little town, little Nigeria town. That's where he picked up the accent.
There might be, but he started doing it halfway through the promo. That's the thing. Like, he didn't even come back with a Nigerian accent. Or it could be worse, though. They could have done what they did with Akeem. Remember when Slick just took One Man Gang and then did like a kind of a racist ceremony or whatever, and then he came out as Akeem, the African Dream, like he had put him.
Do you think that segment? Will that segment be on the new Peacock version of the WWE Network that's removing all the offensive stuff? Will Akeem, the African Dream,
I mean, you'd have to get rid of all of it. There's so much Akeem. I mean, he was
But
there
if you
as
don't have the
Akeem.
explanation, if you're watching the one man gang turn into Akeem, you got
Okay, so I didn't
for
I didn't
logic's
know.
sake.
As a kid, I just thought he was African. Like, just whatever. I didn't know that he was a white guy who had a weird ceremony done with like if I remember, it was like witch doctors and stuff. If my memory serves me right, but there's no way that makes the cut. I mean, that's going the same way of like Dudleyville with the Dudley promos.
We got
There's no way
Cesaro
that makes
versus
the
Seth
cut.
Rollins. Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. We've got two guys who can really go, who can really work. I think the crowd's gonna love it. I think Cesaro's gonna win, but it's WWE and they like to they hate Cesaro. So I'm gonna say Rollins. What do you think?
I mean, it should be Cesaro because I mean, I love Cesaro. I think he's due for a long time, but I think you're right. I think it's going to be Seth Rollins, and they're going to keep him and Buddy Murphy going. Which again, I still didn't get an explanation on why Buddy Murphy is back with
why Buddy Murphy is
Seth.
now African.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, that would make
He's
just
also
as
African
much
now.
sense. That would make just as much sense as why he realigned with Seth Rollins. I'm excited about that match. I think the match is going to be good. So I like the feud. I just really wish they'd do something more with Cesaro. That's all.
All right, let's run through Raw real quick. You got Lashley kicking out Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin out of the Hurt Business. We get closer to Mania and they kick out these guys. And at the end of the show, Baron Corbin, King Corbin, my favorite wrestler on the planet, my favorite wrestler who retired, Kurt Angle, is now probably a part of the new Hurt Business with Bobby Lashley. This is phenomenal.
All right. I'm not a big fan of crossing the brands. It's like crossing the streams in Ghostbusters. I thought these things were supposed to be exclusive, so I don't like when they cross that much, personally.
Well, he's a king. He's got a different fiefdom to take over.
You know what? Technically, I guess he has the right. He has the right as a king, as royalty. I didn't think of that. But aside from that, I'm kind of upset that they broke up the Hurt Business. They were just getting started. Like they really. It would be one thing if I had faith that they would do something with Shelton and Cedric Alexander, but I feel like it's going to be one of those things where they break them up and then like 3 weeks from now they're going to be on main event and then we never see them again. It's going to be them and Tucker in a 6-man tag against like Bo Dallas and whoever they could dig up and Fandango and Breezango. Like
I think Breezango's in NXT though. They can't cross the streams. We just talked about that.
I guess they can't, but apparently anyone can go anywhere they want. I thought it was exclusive, but people are hopping. Just like Rhea Ripley kind of just showed up on Raw with no explanation why she's at Raw.
Let's talk about that contract signing then.
Okay,
you got Asuka and Rhea Ripley. They're at the table. Asuka just coming back after getting her teeth knocked out by Shayna Baszler. Literally. And Rhea flips this table right in her face. Like smack in the face.
Okay, so that reminds me of there was a time when CM Punk was there and they were doing Nexus, right? And he goes, "Listen, I just had eye surgery. I don't want to do this." And they were like, "No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine." And the first thing that happens is the first person who attacks him, Daniel Bryan, just unknowingly, by just pure coincidence, starts raking CM Punk's eyes on the side, like after he just had his eye surgery and just said, "I didn't want to go out there." I don't know what it is. It's Murphy's Law or whatever, but it's always that way. It always ends up backfiring.
There's Alexa Bliss in the playground. My second favorite storyline of all of Raw is Alexa Bliss and the Fiend, the fried Fiend at this point. And is that on Raw? I think it's on Raw.
It's
all blurring. It's all red, so I can't.
Raw, yeah.
Yeah, so you got that. She says the Legend Killer will die. There's the word again, die. So they're going to kill Randy Orton at WrestleMania. I mean, I think if you kill him, you win, right?
I mean,
or you get DQ'd.
It depends on the match stipulation. But if the ref feels like you're not able to continue due to death, I guess. I mean, it's happened. All right, so it wouldn't be the first time somebody was executed at a WrestleMania. Do not forget that, right? Or no, wait, where was the Big Boss Man when he hung the Big Boss Man? Is that like a Judgment Day? When the Undertaker?
I thought that was like some double cage thing. I don't know if it's Mania. Then you had Paul Bearer being buried alive at I
In
think
that
like a No
cement,
Mercy
in
or
the
something.
cement, the glass coffin. All I'm thinking about now, anytime we bring these up, are these going to survive the peacock cuts? Because
The
I mean, that's a
Peacock
guy being
cuts.
hung. That's a guy being hung. They might not. NBC is be like, nah, we can't have you hanging people on TV.
You can
So
feed him a
that one,
dog though. Feed him a dog is fine, but you
that
can't
part is fine.
hang the man.
That part is fine.
Oh
And then
man.
always, I remember Big Show having a hop on top of his daddy's casket as the Big Boss Man dragged it away to ruin the funeral for his Big Boss Man's daddy's funeral.
I mean, the thing is, at the time, it was a really topical thing because this was happening all the time in Queens. You remember this, right? It was happening right by Kew Gardens. Like everybody was stealing people's coffins, and people were just jumping on top. So, like, what people don't remember because of the history, that this was happening all the time.
Okay, I didn't know that was a trend. Was that like Ghost Ride in the Whip or whatever?
It was something like that.
Okay,
They
I
called it
didn't
like
realize this was a
tombstoning.
trend.
It was a mess.
That sounds so awesome. If it wasn't for the how terrible it is, the name Tombstoning sounds so awesome. Like I would love to go
It should be called The
tombstoning.
Last Ride. The Last
The
Ride.
Last
Why didn't I
Ride.
call it that?
Should be the
All right, you got Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon in a cage at Mania now because this segment, wow, Braun's report card, and he was named Braun Strowman in the 5th grade. He did poorly in things, and these segments don't end. They have a freaking train sound effect when Braun's running around, and now his report card is public, and he was little baby Braun Strowman at 10, which is weird because I thought his name was Adam something because he says that all the time.
Okay, so I have a feeling like Vince McMahon got a really bad report card when he was like in the 4th grade, because why else would they? He has an obsession about bringing back people's teachers, like The Rock, This Is Your Life. He would bring back teachers, and then I think, remember Alexa Bliss and Bailey did a thing with teachers. So clearly Vince McMahon is trying to get some revenge on like a social studies teacher who told him he didn't have any potential or something. That's what this is about.
And that's why he loved Matt Stryker, your teacher, and the genius Lenny Poffo. He really has a thing against smart people.
And Dean Douglas. He hates Dean. He hates teachers. He hates anybody who is trying to educate people for whatever
He doesn't want you to
reason.
sneeze. He doesn't want you to be smart.
Yeah.
But he definitely thinks scooters is the way to go.
Are hilarious. You got to get over with a scooter. All right, we got have I missed this? But why is Shane McMahon? Why is he taunting Braun Strowman? I still don't understand why he doesn't like Braun Strowman.
I believe there's no storyline explanation for why Shane has decided to just call him stupid, and also sliming him with green slime. I'm not making that up. I say a lot of weird stuff as the Deep Throat, but I'm telling you that if you haven't watched it, it'll be in the WrestleMania video. It's going to be in the build. You're going to see it.
In the
green
package.
Slime on the Strowman. Yeah, that's a build.
Is green slime not copyrighted by like Nickelodeon? It should be, because that's really what I think about. It could be any color.
Maybe Braun said, I don't know. He said, I don't know, and that's what happens in the Thunderdome.
Fair enough.
Right, let's talk
and this
about
is the last week in the Thunderdome. Sorry.
That's right. They're moving it to That's all right. That's all right. So you got NXT Takeover. We got like a huge week of stuff coming up for Mania. There's like 40 days of NXT Takeover. There's Hall of Fames. There's this, that, and the other thing. Let's talk about Takeover. I'll run through the card. You pick the winner.
Yeah.
You ready?
Okay, I'll do it quick because we're running time. I'm gonna miss so much of seeing my Greek wife because I mean, there's so much wrestling that I'm gonna have to. I don't know how we're gonna do this, but we're gonna do it. All right, go. Sorry.
Okay, NXT Women's Championship: Io Shirai versus Raquel Gonzalez. Io is the champ.
I think they're gonna give it to Raquel Gonzalez. I think Io's had it for a while, and they're gonna try some new stuff. I feel like they're shaking up the women's division a little bit in NXT. There's a lot of new people coming in.
I think Io is going to retain. NXT Championship: Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross.
I think they're big on Karrion Kross. I think they're big on Karrion Kross. They are like, for lack of a better term, creaming their jeans to get Karrion Kross over again. So it's gonna.
That is the technical term for it.
That is the technical term.
NXT Tag Team Championship triple threat: MSK versus Grizzled Young Vets versus Legado del Fantasma.
Oh God, this could go any way. I think they're big on pushing MSK, so I want to say MSK is going to take it.
I'm going with Legado del Fantasma because I just like saying it. Really fun.
Okay, that's a good reason.
Night,
it makes just as much sense as any booking decision they make. So I mean, I'm down for that.
NXT Cruiserweight Unification ladder match: Jordan Devlin versus Santos Escobar.
I think they're going to have Santos Escobar do it. I'm looking forward to this. I thought it was so badass the way Shawn Michaels just tossed the ladder in the ring and was like, "Hey, that's how you're going to settle it." Like, I love that stuff. That's why I love NXT, because they have these homages to the past that you don't see on Raw or SmackDown. Like, they're not afraid to acknowledge stuff from the past like that.
Let's see. North American Championship: Johnny Gargano versus the World is a gauntlet winner from night one. You got Gargano or anybody else?
Oh man. Wait. So is Gargano's the champ, right? In this?
Yes.
I don't. It's hard to predict it because I don't know who's gonna do it. But I don't know. I'd say Gargano retains just because I have no idea who's gonna win it. I have no idea who's even in the gauntlet match. So I don't know.
I think I'm going to take the field on this one. Gargano's had that championship for a long time.
Yeah.
It could be. Look, if it's that sommelier guy, I think he's winning. They had that really thin kid of Leon. You know, I'm a body guy. Leon Ruff is like, he weighs like 10 pounds soaking wet. And he took the championship away. So
that's true. Yeah, I just don't see him winning it twice. All right, fair enough.
Unsanctioned match: Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole. The Undisputed Era is no more. Who do you got?
I gotta go. I think it's gonna be Adam Cole, baby. I just think they're just gonna keep rolling with Adam Cole. I don't know why, but
real quick, we're gonna talk about AEW. That was last night. Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers versus Lucha Brothers and Laredo Kid. What a match! Freaking
many great moves.
Ray Phoenix.
So many great moves.
Ray Phoenix, he's running on ropes. He looks like Rey Mysterio from like 30 years ago. It's insane. He's tall. He's throwing power moves. Omega's still killing it. The Good Brothers look goofy as hell with their stupid Impact championships, but that's kind of their thing. Christian Cage was on TV last night versus Frankie Kazarian. What do you think of that match?
I mean, you know what? Christian was like, he looked really good. Like he hasn't skipped a beat. I think it's a good match because it made both of them look good. And then he did all the vintage stuff, the Christian Cage stuff that we used to see from Christian Cage.
We got to talk about the arcade match: Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy versus Kip Sabian and Miro. This was a spot fest, broken everything. Miro looked like he got hurt at one point. It was pretty messed up, the amount of carnage there. I thought it was a really good match. I think when it comes to all of the outside kind of street fight kind of crazy no DQ weapon stuff that AEW does, they do it really well. And I think this was about the same.
Yeah, they did so much stuff in that match, like a lot of specific stuff with specific video games. And it made me cry because I like games, so I hate seeing games destroyed. But man, that when they did that thing with the Donkey Kong and the Miss Pac-Man, forget it. That's like, I think it should be 5 stars. I don't know how Meltzer's.
Sabian trying to hit the strong punch. It's like, yeah, I know it's got 6 buttons, but that was hilarious to me. I loved it. Cody Rhodes versus QT Marshall with Double A as the ref. That match, I could take it or leave it. Cody's, he's good, but QT Marshall, you want to watch? I mean, that match. It's a Cody match. For
Arn Anderson to turn on Cody like that, that's crazy. I didn't see that coming. Like, no spoilers if anyone didn't see it. I think
it was subtle. It was real subtle. Like, you could see it at the beginning. He was kind of acting weird, but he's always got that menu from Waffle House in front of his face. You never know what he's thinking. So as the ref, you can really see the stuff going in his head. Okay, I think we're done. We're running out of time. Are we done?
I think we're good. I think we got everything. So much stuff, guys. Thank you.
All right, so we'll be back. Hit the subscribe button and notifications so you know when we're on next. We've got a lot of watch-alongs for NXT TakeOver, WrestleMania, everything. We'll be talking about absolutely everything. Join us there. Follow us on Twitter, MattMen Podcast. Follow me at Andrew Zarian, and follow Rich at BTC Rich. All right, guys, that's it for this time. Love to you all. See you soon. Take care.